Welcome back to Mideast in Depth. In the same week that London Mayor Boris Johnson said that the ISIS flag should not be banned by law because Britain is a free country, we take a look at commentary across the media on the Islamic State group. Britain's former ambassador to Washington, Christopher Meyer, writes in the Daily Telegraph, as nuclear talks continue, Britain's strategic interests now lie in a deal with Shia Iran, not Sunni Saudi Arabia. He states that ISIS, as an idea and a movement, has been building ever since the US-UK invasion of Iraq. With the foolish disbanding in 2003 of the Iraq army and ruling Ba'ath Party, and Western-style elections which handed to Iraq to a Shia ascendancy, the US and UK made a violent Sunni revanchism all but inevitable. He points out that the one lesson to be learnt from our interventions in Afghanistan and Iraq is that the prolonged presence of Western militaries in Islamic societies serves only to swell the ranks of Muslims worldwide who are violently hostile to our values and way of life. Meyer highlights that the UK and its allies are caught inside two vices, a civil war across the Middle East between two branches of Islam and the intense geopolitical and religious rivalry between Iran and Saudi Arabia. The perverse consequence is that we in the West are keener to defeat ISIS than the Iraqi army and our Sunni Arab friends. This is a recipe for unavoidable failure. He asserts that there is only one Western policy that could lay claim to coherence: to halt military action and to let the region sort out its own problems. This won't stop ISIS being a threat inside the UK. It will have to be fought through intelligence, policing, and a level of domestic surveillance that some may find unpalatable. And on a final note, he reflects, if ISIS is able to expand further in the Middle East, won't this unavoidably lead to the conclusion that our strategic ally in the region for the 21st century must be Iran? David Ignatius writes in the Washington Post that with their weird mix of modern and pre-modern, the Islamic State has revived the old practice of torture as a public exhibition and given it the sheen of a video game. The extreme brutality is part of the Islamic State's brand. The ultra-violent images serve to intimidate enemies and, to a disturbing extent, motivate young recruits. The jihadist knights, as they imagine themselves, have created a distinct form of modern communications warfare. Ignatius reminds us that such public displays of cruelty are hardly new or unique. It harks medieval times in Europe, however. The Islamic State's innovation has been to put this sort of mayhem online. The audio is narrated with Quranic phrases and backed by Arabic chants known as nasheeds, but the video images evoke a barbarism that transcends religion or culture. He adds, if you mute the chanting, you can see the fellowship that the Islamic State truly embraces. The group is the latest evidence of a near-universal human capacity to barbarize those seen as others as non-believers and treat them as a different form of life. He concludes, we should separate audio and video when thinking about the Islamic State. The sounds may be drawn from Muslim tradition, but the images have no religion or foundation except as evidence of the tragic human capacity for taking pleasure in the suffering of others. For more updates, please visit levant.tv. And subscribe to Mideast in Depth on iTunes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.